Hi, and welcome to this short video which forms part of your tutorial provision here at Petrock. I'm Pete Gammon, Petrock's Head of Safeguarding and Wellbeing Services. Contained within this short video is information I wish to share with you, which I hope will support you to understand what the term prevent means, and how we can all safeguard each other from those who may wish to exploit us or someone that we may know. If you wish to ask questions through this video, please alert the member of staff hosting this session and they can stop the video and facilitate discussion. It's important to share your views or experiences around this topic. Prevent is about safeguarding you, me, and everyone in our community. So I first want to remind you all what safeguarding actually is. Safeguarding is the action that is taken to promote the welfare of our learners and protect them from harm. This is something that we are passionate about, whether you are with us as a 16 to 18 learner, an adult further education learner, apprentice, or higher education learner. We are committed to keeping you all safe. At Petrock, your wellbeing and safety are our top priorities. We want you not only to excel academically, but also feel supported in every aspect of college life. Safeguarding is creating a safe and nurturing environment for everyone. If you ever feel uncomfortable, threatened, or witness anything concerning, whether this be on our campuses, out in the communities where you live, or whilst at work, there are trained members of staff here to help. You can always talk to your tutor, a lecturer, or any member of our safeguarding team. We are here to listen, support, and act when needed. Your well-being matters to us. College and work life can be exciting, but it can also come with its challenges. Don't hesitate to reach out if you are feeling overwhelmed. Our dedicated wellbeing and counselling provisions are here to provide support and guidance. We encourage you to seek support where it's needed and prioritise self-care. At the end of this video, I have included how to contact our Safeguarding Wellbeing Service should you feel you need to. If you don't want to access face-to-face support, that's not a problem. Our online wellbeing hub is your go-to place. Here you can access various services tailored to your needs, whether it's academic guidance, wellbeing support, or any questions you may have. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Petrock is a community that cares about you. As you settle in, know that you have the tools, the resources, and people to support you every step of the way. The Safeguarding and Wellbeing Service is an outstanding service that prides itself on being learner-centric, non-judgmental, and has the expertise to help learners in whatever situation they find themselves in. Okay then, so what is Prevent? Prevent is part of our government's counter-terrorism strategy and is aimed at stopping people becoming terrorists or supporting terrorism. Prevent is all about safeguarding people, not criminalising them or getting people into trouble. I have already used some confusing terminology, so let's look at the definition of some key words relating to prevent. Okay, so now that we know what these key definitions mean, let's watch a video which will give you more information about Prevent. Here goes.
Prevent protects people of all ages from the dangers of radicalisation. Radicalisation means someone developing extreme views or beliefs in support of terrorist groups or activities. This could happen through engaging with extremist or terrorist content online, or by getting involved with an extremist or terrorist group. Prevent deals with all forms of radicalisation, whether it relates to extreme right-wing or Islamist extremism. Being referred to Prevent is not a punishment, and getting support won't give you a criminal record. It's about connecting people to the support they need to protect themselves and others from the dangers of radicalisation. When someone's referred to Prevent, local police will assess the referral and check there's no immediate security risk. If the referral progresses, the case will be assessed by a panel of local experts. This usually includes social services, education providers, and mental health care professionals. The panel will then decide whether the person is offered tailored support through a voluntary programme called Channel. This might include mentoring and ideological interventions, mental health support, help getting a job or getting back into education, training to learn how to stay safe online, or housing support. It can be hard to know what to do if you're worried about someone being radicalised, but Prevent can help turn people away from extremism by offering them the support they need. To find out more about the type of support offered or for advice on referring someone you're worried about, visit gov.uk/prevent.
Okay, so this gives us a really good idea of what Prevent is and the key information that you should know. Remember, Prevent is about safeguarding us all, including the person who may have been radicalised, supporting them to be free from harm and abuse. I want to discuss radicalisation because knowing what this is and where it might happen will help us all. Radicalisation is a process where a person comes to defend, support, or take part in violent extremism. Radicalisation comes in many different forms and happens at different speeds. It's very individual. People who wish to radicalise others will first try and build a connection with you and show you that they understand you. They will take their time so they can find your trigger, what you are passionate about. Radicalisers are very good at identifying your anxieties and exploiting any vulnerabilities you may have. We are all vulnerable at certain times in our lives. You are likely to be offered a new narrative or promised a way out from how you're feeling. You may be offered to join a group where extreme views will be shared and unchallenged and reinforced by others. Extremists use a lot of different channels to try and connect you if they feel you may be vulnerable or persuadable. They will look at your social media accounts, your posts, your friends lists to try and identify a person they wish to target. So, make sure your accounts are private and everyone you are friends with are actually people that you know. Everything is online. People who wish to radicalise watch what you are watching, learn what you are into. They watch what you share, what you like, and what you comment on, and learn how to possibly radicalise you. Radicalisers engage with you, become your friend, then draw you into a false sense of security. Once you are friends, they will try and exploit your friendship through leading you on a path which could lead to crime or acts of terrorism. As I said earlier, there is no single way in which a person can be radicalised. But there are some circumstances a person may experience which could make a person more vulnerable to radicalisation. Let's look at the next slide and see some that I have listed. Okay, having looked at that, is this something you can relate to? Next, let's look at a real example where an individual may have been vulnerable to radicalisation, which has led to an act of terrorism. See if you can identify what vulnerabilities this individual had. I do want to warn you that there are some upsetting scenes within this next video, so if you are worried or upset by anything that you watch, please speak to your lecturer or tutor or come and visit the safeguarding team. Okay, so what vulnerabilities were you able to see from that video? Let me share a bit more information about this case. Nikki Riley was 22 at the time of undertaking the terrorist act and reported to have been a student at Plymouth City College. Nikki had what was referred to at the time as Asperger's syndrome, now referred to as autism, and had a significant learning delay. It was reported that Nikki experienced significant episodes of mental ill health. Nikki was encouraged to carry out this attack through the internet chat room. Nikki died in prison, sadly, at the age of 30. Can you relate to this information from what I've already shared with you in this video? Sharing a bit more information about this case, there were worrying signs that Nikki had been radicalised prior to him carrying out the bombing, which was reported. However, this was prior to the Prevent agenda being in place. So, if you are ever worried about a friend, a family member, or yourself, talk about it with the safeguarding team. We are here to support you and members of our community. Okay, so at the time of recording this video, what are the local trends that are being seen that relate to extremism? The extreme right wing is the ideology that is the fastest growing threat and is intrinsically linked to the online risk. This is one of the biggest risks to the Southwest from extremism. Let's look at some further information about the extreme far right.
Extremism is the word we use to describe active opposition to our society's values. Extremists encourage division and the hatred of others and cause harm to people who they see as different. These films will take a look at far-right extremism, what it is, and the impact it can have on people's lives. The term far-right can be used to describe individual extremists or groups, and it can be many different things, ranging from people who deliberately spread hate online to violence and terrorism. What these things have in common is hatred towards people they see as different. The hatred can be based on the color of someone's skin, their religion, their sexuality, nationality, gender, or a mix of these things. They blame people they see as different for all the problems in our society. The most well-known example of a far-right group comes from history. The Nazi Party led by Adolf Hitler, whose desire for power and hatred of Jews led to 6 million Jewish people being killed in the Holocaust. The Nazis also murdered hundreds of thousands of others who they saw as different because of their race, their sexuality, their political views, or because they had a disability. Around the same time as the Nazi Party was ruling in Germany, we start to see far-right groups forming in Britain too. One group in the UK was called the British Union of Fascists, a political party led by Oswald Mosley. Back then, the British Union of Fascists were run out of town. The British people and the government said no to the far right and their hatred. We still do today. Today's far right comes in many shapes and sizes. Some groups will hold street marches where there are often violent clashes with the police or other groups. Others can be found online where they spread hatred on social media or via online gaming. They also use these places to try and persuade people to agree with their ideas. To persuade more people to agree with their hateful ideas, the far right will deliberately try to find people who are having a difficult time, losing jobs, struggling with money, or feeling alone. But anyone can be targeted. Once you're involved with these groups, it can be hard for you to leave. They want you to ignore your friends and family. Radicalisation is the word we use to describe when someone is persuaded to support extremist ideas. This can happen in different ways. The far right will try to persuade people to join them by blaming all their problems on people they see as different. For example, they will tell you that immigrants are to blame for people's worries about money or jobs. Some will even try to make you believe that it's okay to be violent. By blaming one group in society for all of life's problems, the far right can make it sound like it's okay to abuse or hurt people if they are different to you, in race, religion, or in any other way. All far-right extremists want you to forget what we have in common and focus only on people's differences. This causes division, misunderstanding, and hatred. All far-right extremists want you to forget what we have in common and focus only on people's differences. This causes division, misunderstanding, and hatred. In some cases, this hatred can inspire people to vandalize synagogues and mosques or attack and hurt immigrants. In the most extreme cases, hating people that are different to you results in extreme violence, which is called terrorism. In the UK, a far-right terrorist drove his van into pedestrians outside a mosque, murdering an innocent man. Another attacked and killed a British politician, Joe Cox. In Norway, a far-right terrorist massacred 77 young people. And in New Zealand, more than 50 Muslims were murdered by a far-right terrorist while they were praying. These events are extremely rare, and the government has banned the most extreme far-right groups because they want to use violence and terrorism to get what they want. But the government aren't the only ones taking a stand. Across Britain, people are coming together to show that we're united no matter what the colour of our skin, our sexuality, gender, religion, or ethnicity. We all stand together against division and hatred. We reject violence, and we cherish the peace and freedom that make our country what it is. Britain is one of the most inclusive countries in the world, with proud traditions and a welcoming culture. No matter what our differences, we have so much more in common.
Okay, so now that we're aware of prevent, we're aware of extremism, radicalisation, what can we do to safeguard ourselves and people we know in the communities we work in and live in? We can build our resilience to radicalisation by promoting fundamental British values and enabling us all to challenge extremist views. Let's watch a short video which talks about British values further.
What does living in Britain mean to you? People have different understandings of life in modern Britain, but at its heart are some shared values universal to how our society works. Democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, tolerance and mutual respect. Democracy is about making sure that everyone has their say in how a country runs. This is different to a dictatorship, where one person gets to decide all the rules, usually to benefit themselves. Britain is one of the oldest democracies in the world, dating back to the 13th century, although it's changed a lot since then. Nowadays, our form of democracy means we elect people to represent us, both to Parliament nationally, but also to councils on a local level. In Britain, we have freedom of speech, which means we can say when we don't agree with other people's opinions, including our politicians. And what happens if you don't like what your MP or councillor is doing? Well, as soon as you turn 18, you can vote for someone else. Or you could stand to be a politician yourself. In fact, Britain's youngest Prime Minister was just 24 years old. The next core value is the rule of law. The law ensures that there are consequences for someone's bad behaviour and helps to end disagreements in a fair way. Importantly, the law applies equally to everyone. It protects our human rights, such as the right to freedom of religion and belief, and means that if we are accused of doing something wrong, we have the right to a fair trial. The law helps to make sure individual liberty is protected. Individual liberty means you get to choose how you live your life, and no one can try to stop you because of your gender, your beliefs, your background, or the color of your skin. Other people may not want to make the same choices as you, but they have the freedom to live their own lives too. The final values are mutual respect and tolerance. Tolerance means that we understand that everyone has a right to believe what they want, even though it might be different to our own beliefs. We don't all have to agree on everything, but we do have to respect other people's opinions. In return, you can expect others to respect your views too. That's why we call it mutual respect. When you think about what the country would be like without these values, it's easy to see why they're so important. These 4 values are sometimes called fundamental British values because they help make the country a place where we all can live life freely, have a say in how the country works, and are protected from discrimination for our beliefs. They are our shared values. They unite us.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of this video. The topics discussed are difficult to listen to, and if you feel you would like to speak to someone about how this may have affected you, please talk to your tutor or visit the Safeguarding and Wellbeing Service. Details of where they are will be shown at the end. It's been a real privilege to be able to share this information with you, as I've seen firsthand how Prevent and the courage people have to report their concerns safeguard the most vulnerable members of our community. My request of you today, as being part of our successful college community, is that you take care of yourselves and each other. I wish you all success on your study programmes. Take care, and I'll see you around. Thanks for listening.